Hey guys, Don Neder here again. Um, something kind of came into my mind yesterday that I didn't think was affecting me during the virus, but I realized this is probably something a lot of people are maybe dealing with, and maybe like me didn't even realize it. Um, I came to the conclusion yesterday I was suffering from some anxiety over the coronavirus. I thought I was handling it pretty well. I've really trained myself to be very good with stress and anxiety. I owned a small business. I understand stress. I understand dealing with issues as they come up. Some of them stressful, a lot of anxiety. And I'll be honest, through the Wim Hof method, I was able to actually really have total control over it. Stress didn't bother me. And so maybe I just didn't monitor that as well as I should have. But yesterday, I started thinking about it, over the last 3 weeks or so, my sleep hasn't been as good as it normally is. And of course, I wear a Garmin watch, so I sync every morning and see how many hours sleep I had, how deep it was, and my heart rate. My heart rate has always been sometimes in the low 40s, but generally in the mid 40s to the high 40s for my sleeping heart rate. But in the last 3 weeks, it's always been in the 50s, usually in the mid 50s, and that's just unlike me. And I was trying to mess around with my diet. Was there something wrong with my diet? You know, maybe exercise, was getting less exercise, but I wasn't. Nothing had really changed from what I was doing before. And yesterday I came to the realization and maybe admitted to myself, well, maybe it's anxiety and stress that I've been dealing with from the coronavirus. I mean, there's plenty to be stressed about. I'm stressed not about myself. I'm stressed about my family, or anxious about my family and my loved ones and the world, but not just in the sickness, but also socially and economically. What kind of changes are these going to have on us? And, you know, I'm concerned about the economy and make sure it doesn't go past this danger point that it's going to be hard, much more difficult to recover from. But at the same time, there's not a lot I can do about that. So what I identified was, you know what, just like I tell people in my classes, that you have to be present in the moment. My 2 feet have to be present in today. They can't be present in tomorrow because tomorrow doesn't even exist yet. And so I can't be worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow. I can be prepared for it, okay? I can work on being prepared, but I can't get anxious and thinking about letting those thoughts enter my mind. I have to make sure I have more control over that. So really what it leads me to is the Wim Hof method certainly is going to help with stress. It's going to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. It's going to lower your heart rate. It's going to help you deal with stress and anxiety. And I was just relying on that, I suppose. But it takes a lot more. I've always told people, I think mindset is probably the most important aspect of the Wim Hof method. It is so critical, and it ties everything together. With the mindset, you control your unconscious mind, and you can control your unconscious mind. So I was letting thoughts enter my mind, and I was just letting them grow, and I was letting them fester there instead of really thinking about it. So just yesterday I became aware of this. So I did some breathing methods that, other than the Wim Hof method, I do that every morning. But a couple others that I'll tell you about real quick. They're very simple to do. Probably the most common one that's well known is the Navy SEALs are known for developing, called box breathing, where you breathe in for 4 or 5 seconds, you hold it in for 4 or 5 seconds, you exhale over 4 or 5 seconds, and then you pause for 4 or 5 seconds, and then you just repeat it. Breathe in, then hold, then breathe out, and then hold. Each time 4, or say 4 seconds. I usually do 5 seconds. Maybe that's my favorite number, so I guess that's why I do that. So box breathing is a great way to calm the mind, activate the vagus nerve, lower your heart rate. The one I use probably more often is just taking in a nice breath, 4 or 5 seconds in, but exhale twice as long as I brought it in. So if I breathe in for 4 or 5 seconds, I'll exhale for 10 seconds. Just a nice, slow exhale of my breath. Again, activates the vagus nerve and the parasympathetic nervous system, lowers the heart rate, calms you down. I've used this in the dentist chair, and I promise you it works. I was in that chair for 30 minutes waiting for the technician to come in and the dentist to tell me what all had to happen. A natural place for anxiety. And my heart rate was staying at 39, believe it or not. I was doing this long exhale breathing the entire time I was waiting on them. So I just did not let it get to me. I used my mind to control my reactions to the environment that I found myself in. Just like Scott Carney's new book, The Wedge, I was using that wedge to keep me in a good place between my mind, my body, and my environment. So practice the breathing, use this, recognize if you are in fact suffering from anxiety. As I told you, I just kind of figured this all out yesterday. So yesterday during the day, I did the box breathing some. I did the long exhales several times during the day. I meditated a couple times, and then I just would not let these negative thoughts enter my mind. If they did, I would acknowledge them and then dismiss them. I'm focused on the here and now. I'm being present in the moment to do what I can in the present moment. Guess what? Last night, slept great, very rested. And this morning, I looked at my heart rate, and it varied between 40 and 45 beats a minute while I was sleeping last night. Right back in my, even better than it was before. So I'm very happy with that. I will continue to do it now that I understand I can't control this stress. I can't let it control me, and I won't let it control me. I just let it get out of there for a second before I realized what was going on. So I want to pass that on. If you're dealing with stress right now, if you're dealing with anxiety from the coronavirus, if you're worried about family members, just remember, control what you can, be present in the moment. You can't control everything in the future, and use some simple breathing techniques to help you adjust to it. Help your body get out of that stress mode and allow that body to relax for a little bit. I hope that helps. Please pass this on to others you think may benefit. And thanks again. Love everybody and stay healthy.